Namaste and welcome to Stoker Sighting. And we're the Earth Meditation Tribe, and it's Sunday, 17th September. And to my left is Julian, who's the main draw card of the afternoon. And Julian, if you read the blurb in talking about the new Earth, Julian has actually created a program some years ago, which is now getting out there. It's kind of like another program that I'm involved in, but Julian's is far more advanced. So you're in good hands this afternoon with the meditation. But we're going to start on the front lawn today with some Qigong, albeit a shorter version than what I anticipated. Some of you know that I'm a great fan of Mimi Dukima. But a few months ago we had one of our Earth Tribe do a Qigong session here, and Steve will remember this, and everyone loved it, and it's very much about Earth connection, which just so happens to be what Qigong is about. So the Earth Tribe is in good hands. So my intention is that we'll do a few of the one that is my favourite, of course, is the 8 silk brocades, but I'm not going to take you through the 8 silk brocades today. We're going to do the Earth Heart Qigong session. Now, what I'd like to do is invite Julian, if he will, and when we're finished here, by the way, we'll get out of the sun and we'll go down into the octagon, and the meditation will happen, and then we'll have some music. And to my third to my left is David, who's written 3 or 4 books on the Earth and connection with the Earth, and I'm kind of hoping that he'll share some of the poetry from those books with you. We'll see. Julian, can I get you to just introduce yourself and get us started?
Yes. So my passion really is in how do we co-create new Earth together, and so I'm especially interested in mindfulness, mindful communication, conscious relationships. So this is the whole kind of life's work has been to develop this whole system for building conscious community using mindfulness and mindful communication. That's the foundation. I'm kind of going beyond that as well at the same time. So just the idea, I guess, for now is I'd also just like to, when we're ready in a moment, just to bring you into a state of presence with our sensory experience. Then we'll do the Qigong, and then I will again just bring us back into this state of really the same state as we go down to the octagon. Then we'll sit, do a meditation, also mindful communication discussion really about the Earth Tribe and really what this is all about, and really inviting each person to really share what this means to you as well, or what resonates within you. And then after that we have some poetry with David.
Excellent.
Yep.
So can I remind you what Qigong is about? The Qi is energy, life force, spirit, awareness, bundled together. But I also like throwing in that word consciousness, because many of the spiritual leaders regard it as the critical factor in how we live our lives, not only in the outer world but in the inner world. Gong is cultivating and training, if you wish. So this afternoon our Qigong is going to be very much about connection with the sky, and that'll happen usually on the in-breath. When we're going in the other direction, connecting directly with the earth, it'll be usually the out-breath. I could say a lot about Qigong, but in view of the weather, it being so hot, maybe that conversation can wait till we get back down to the octagon, if you're okay, Steve.
Sure.
Can we start?
Yes.
Okay. Now at the start, you're looking out to this beautiful mountain behind. I'm going to suggest that we'll start with a very gentle one, just to get your bearings, to hear the water in the background, the birds, and to just take in where you are, this exquisite garden in Steve's home here at Stoke Siding. So the first one, try not to giggle at a few of these names if I let them out. The Chinese names, they're quite quaint. The first one I'd like to do, just to give you a chance to catch your breath, is releasing the 5 fatigues and the 7 illnesses, but it's very simple. Hands, what we'll do, by the way, is when we're going high, we'll stand tall. When we're going low, we'll relax and soften into our knees. So the first one is, as I said a moment ago, hands top of the thighs. We'll have a deep breath in when we're at the front like this, and we just simply, the wise owl, looking to the left, letting the breath out, and back to the front. And treat this as your opportunity to just have a look around, and in fact to the right, hands back to the center, breath in when we're doing this, and to the left, breath out, back to the center, and to the right. And one of the things about Qigong, of course, is besides, and back to the center, besides what I mentioned before, and to the left, and back to the center, it's very much a practice of intention. So I'm going to invite you at this time, in the next minute or two, if you wish, to set an intention for the afternoon or for whatever's happening in your life, entirely your call. And intention, of course, is yi, Y-I, as opposed to chi, which is C-H-I. And it is your intention that will give fuel to the chi. So, to give you a clue, from my perspective at the moment, a friend recently said to me, Greg, my intention at the moment is to remain calm and centered. And the last one, and back to the center. And by the way, when we're standing like this, we'd normally be about shoulder width, the feet will be about shoulder width apart. And as I said a moment ago, when you're at the bottom of the movement, normally you'll soften and let go into your knees, and when we're at the top, you're standing tall. So the first move we do is called swinging arms, some call it, and others call it constant bear. So we swing our arms, and this is to just get some energy flowing through your system. And looking over your shoulder as you do it. But please, if you are someone who feels that you've got to do everything in your life at 100% at full pace, this afternoon I'd like you to pull back to about 60%. Qigong, as in yoga, as in Tai Chi, and all these wonderful Chinese and Japanese and Indian disciplines, is about non-violence. One more, and back to the center. This time is another one that will create a bit of energy in your body. And this is swinging to the top and down. Feeling the flow of the energy through your shoulders, your hips, your ankles, through your body. Loosening up, getting ready for the rest of the practices. One more. Big deep breath in together and coming down slowly to the dantian, or the lower abdomen. And let's treat this as an opportunity for us to have one big deep breath in together. Okay, we've warmed up now. Some gentle stuff. So this one will be hands coming up to about shoulder height. And then just coming down. The breath in as we go up. And the out breath as we come down. One more. Using that same movement, a soft gaze on me if you wish, but going up and opening to the sky. And coming down ever so slowly. And again. And when we're at the top, we're standing tall. And last one. And during the practice, we'll occasionally gather and we just move our hands wide on the circumference. Breath into the top and letting go. And bending our knees and softening as we're coming down. And again, breathing in and bringing in any of the baggage of the week that you would prefer was not there, and letting go. And releasing into the strength and the stability of the earth. One more. And letting go. Hands back to the dantian. And we'll do another deep breath in. Okay, this movement is touching the sky. So if you just watch, right hand up, and tilting to the other side, coming back down slowly. Breath out. Left hand. Right hand. Coming back down. If you like the ease, the simplicity of that move, stick with it. If you want something that's a little bit more difficult, bring your hands in a windmill out and around. Right hand going to the sky, the left hand to the earth. And around again on the windmill. Right hand to the sky. Last one. And bringing your hands back and across at the front. And hands up as if you are a bird taking flight. And Steve will tell you that later in the afternoon towards sunset, often we get a flock of birds come up this valley. So,
Whistling ducks. Whistling ducks.
Whistling ducks. So, if you wish, imagining that you're a whistling duck and flying down towards Wollumbin, high above Wollumbin, and looking down on the greenery, looking down on this little blue-green earth as it hurtles through space. And flying higher, above the clouds, surfing the clouds, and higher again. But feeling gravity drawing you back to Wollumbin, back to the earth, back to your body. What sound do the birds make, Steve? Oh. I shouldn't have asked.
I really don't know. They just whistle.
And the last one, coming back down and hands back on the top of your thighs. We're now going to do some massaging of the acupuncture meridian points, and this can be done with some firmness. Down the outside of your left arm and up the inside.
What does this do? What does this do? What does it do when you do this?
It's activating the meridians. And across and down to the right arm, down the outside of the right arm. Down the outside. Back to the shoulder. Back to the chest. The rib cage. Just be as firm as you want to be, or as soft as you want. Your belly. Your hips. And gently down the outsides of your legs. And again. Back to your hips and back around behind, top of your bum, your kidneys. and back around the front. Hands the top of your thighs. The triple heater. We bring our hands together, we fold them over, we move up. And back down. Nice and gentle. And again, big breath in. And the top. And the last one. Hands and gathering. Gathering in the strength and the stability of the earth. The deep breath in. And hearing all the sounds that are happening in our background. And down the center. Releasing. And again. Gathering. And continuing on all the way to the bottom. If you just watch the first one, we're getting near the end, and we're up and opening to the sky and letting it go. And we might say a little verse or a prayer, and we might even call it Steve Paul's prayer, because it's been inspired by Paul. To the sky, Father. To the earth, Mother. My body is my temple. The earth, my home. I love life. I choose freedom. Sky above. Ancestors. Earth below. Blood and bone. Heading towards the end. Last one, hands up and wide. Big deep breath in and coming back to the heart. May I be well. May I be happy. May I live my life with ease. May I be free. And as we started, right hand gently clenched, the yang, the sun, living on a beautiful planet, kept warm by the sun. The left hand, the yin, open, coming across and bowing to Wollumbin. Okay, guys, thank you for hanging in there in the heat.
Thank you.
Julian, what's the plan?
Yeah, so just invite us all to just really retain this awareness that we've just been cultivating. Just standing still, allowing our gaze to settle somewhere in front of us for a moment, and just inviting you to soften the focus of your gaze and bring all of your awareness, or most of your awareness, into the visual sense field. So we're just starting to cultivate a continuous present moment awareness of whatever we're experiencing in the visual sense field, spreading our awareness from the center of our vision to encompass the entire field of our vision all the way to the periphery, and maintaining a continuous present moment awareness. And as we do so, just noticing if there's anything happening within the visual sense field, often movement, any movement, or any flickering of light or shade. And just noticing that a part of our awareness goes towards that event, and allowing it to draw as much awareness to itself as it demands, no more, no less, but maintaining this continuous, diffuse, open, spacious awareness of our visual sense field. And then in the same way, without necessarily releasing this awareness of the visual sense field, we're also going to diffuse our awareness throughout the hearing sense field. We're just noticing all the different sounds that we're experiencing in our ears. Opening to all the different sounds, from those that are near to those that are far, those that are loud to those that are quiet. And once again, if any sounds draw our attention to themselves, stands out amongst all of the others for a moment, just allowing it to draw that attention to itself, not trying to focus on it, not trying to ignore it, but just allowing it to come into focus for some time naturally, and withdraw into the background field. And similarly, diffusing our awareness throughout the body sense field, noticing all the different sensations in our body, those which are intense and those which are subtle. Diffusing our awareness, noticing if there are any sensations that stand out to us from moment to moment. And creating this open, spacious field of awareness. And similarly, anything that's happening within our minds or emotional bodies, any thoughts or feelings, thought forms, maybe mental images, mental sounds, mental feelings. Not trying to suppress them, not indulging in them, simply holding space for them to occur within this field of continuous present moment awareness. And we may notice also from time to time anything happening within the sense of smell, any sense that may come into our awareness for some time as we walk through the pathway down through the garden. So the idea is really just we want to maintain this continuous open, spacious awareness as we move, and really just feel into every movement of our body, and noticing as we move through space, what happens in our visual sense field as different things come into vision and come and go, feeling the different variations in temperature and shade and sun, the sensations on our feet, the sensations of moving our body, noticing whatever is occurring in our mind, just holding space for it, allowing it to be there. And we just move through space slightly more slowly than we might normally do so, as we just walk down to the hallway. And maybe you lead the way, because yeah.
And then if you need to go to the toilet,
This way, okay.
pull up the oven there.
Mm-hmm. So we can all just follow us and
Before you go to the kitchen, the left-hand side. I don't need to go now, but I just don't trust myself. You sort of go through a laundry, I think, and you find a bathroom right at the edge of the house.
It keeps going.
People, I think, already know that there's a little shack up the driveway if you need to visit it.
It's still going. Good.
Oh, wow. Okay. Do I need to give a longer introduction for you in terms of the connection?
No, that's
You're good?
yes. I'd like to see the touching in there, do you think? But I don't want to make this all about me, so I can make it that is all circle.
I'm sitting close to it.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you, Mary.
Julian, are you comfortable enough? You got enough pillows?
Yep.
Very good.
Yeah.
Yeah, come. Let's look at it. But, yeah. That's good.
So is this already streaming live on
Yes.
online?
So
Okay.
now
Are we all here?
mm-hmm.
Okay, so welcome everybody online as well. So I don't need to give an introduction, isn't it? That's already started. So yeah, just like to invite us all to come into a meditative state as well. We've done the Qigong, we've diffused our awareness throughout the sense fields, and we've walked mindfully here, sat down, just find ourselves settling into our space. We may begin perhaps with a couple of deep breaths just to allow ourselves to really settle into our posture, into our position, and also just to let go of anything that we may be holding on to that is not here now in the present moment. So we just start that way. And the invitation again is to have our eyes open for this for a little while, and then we will close our eyes when it's time to close our eyes. So if you would like to just allow our gaze to settle somewhere in front of us on the floor, again, soften the focus of our gaze and really just take, say, 3 deep breaths, breathing in, and then just releasing any tension in our bodies, feeling ourselves settling into our posture, in our position. Once again, a deep breath in. Letting go of anything that is not present within us here and now. Once again, deep breath in. And release. And again, we will start with a continuous present moment awareness of whatever we are experiencing through our eyes and the visual sense field. Noticing anything that is drawing our attention to itself, any movements, any shade, patterns of flickering of light. And maintaining this continuous present moment awareness, diffusing from the center of our vision through the periphery. Once again, diffusing our awareness throughout the hearing sense field. Noticing any sounds that the mind may fixate upon for some time, allowing that to happen. And being aware if there's any reaction, any reflections that may arise as that comes into focus. Seeing if we can just release that and remain open and spacious. But if not, then being aware of whatever thoughts may occur at the same time. As we diffuse our awareness throughout the hearing sense field, noticing all the different sounds near and far, loud and quiet. And once again, diffusing our awareness throughout the body sense field, noticing all the different sensations in the body. If you'd like to do a single body scan at your own pace, perhaps moving from the top of the head throughout the entire body, down to the soles of your feet. It helps us to open our awareness to become more inclusive of all of our sensations that we're experiencing. Similarly, diffusing our awareness throughout our mental sense field, any mental images or sounds. in the mental formations of any kind whatsoever. See if we can simply hold space for them to be experienced in this conscious present moment awareness. Not trying to suppress them and not indulging in them. But simply allowing them to draw enough consciousness to themselves that they do not distract us in the present moment. We can maintain this continuity of awareness. And at this point, if you choose, you may decide to close your eyes. And if you do so, you will just notice that the visual sense field is shut down, in a sense. That we're no longer aware of whatever we're experiencing through our eyes. And so it's a way of withdrawing from the senses, from the visual sense field at least, and reducing the number of senses to be aware of. So that's a way of focusing the mind. Or we may keep our eyes open and stay present with whatever we are experiencing through any of the sense fields. But we really want to have our awareness holistic now, so we're not compartmentalizing our experience by different sense fields, but simply being present with all that we are in this moment, from moment to moment. As we find ourselves becoming more present, more grounded in the present moment, we may find that the body is becoming calmer and more still, slowly. That the mind is more settled, perhaps. And from time to time there may be some eruption of different thoughts about something. In that case, simply allowing our awareness to go more to our thoughts so that they stay present. The more the mind becomes quiet and calm, the more we can become centered and grounded. We may begin to allow one part of our mind, one part of our awareness to settle upon the movement of the breath in the body. So we have this open, spacious awareness of whatever we are experiencing from moment to moment. And along with that we have a single awareness of the breath coming in and going out, and the pauses between. So we're starting to use the breath as a bridge from mindfulness to concentration, to unification of the mind upon a single object. With mindfulness we have non-distracted, continuous present moment awareness, holding space for any experience, this open, spacious, inclusive awareness. And as we center upon the breath, we're also unifying it on a single object. From time to time, you may notice the qualities of our consciousness. Is it continuous and uninterrupted? Is it subtle, sensitive to our subtle experiences? Is it reacting to anything that we are experiencing? Or is it free from reaction? Accepting the reality of the present moment as it is. So at this point, if your eyes are open, I invite you to close your eyes and we'll do a little bit of breath work. So we're going to be breathing in slowly up until the top of our breath, like breathing a full in-breath, holding our breath for a few moments, and then releasing it, and it'll take twice as long to release as the in-breath took. Then there'll be a little pause at the end, and then we'll repeat that cycle. So in your own pace, in your own way, starting to breathe in deeply and slowly. Hold for a few moments. And when the time feels right, just releasing it slowly, taking your time. And then a pause, and then repeating the cycle. If you like, you may breathe in through the nose and out through the mouth. So as we're doing this, we're reducing our awareness to the two sense fields, really, the body and the mind. We really want to start feeling into the energy in our body. Using our awareness throughout our entire body and feeling into the energy. Perhaps centering in the dantian, in the lower abdomen area to begin with. And at your own pace, in your own way, starting to raise the energy through the body. Perhaps ultimately synchronizing it with the breath, so that maybe it may come all the way up to into the head with each in-breath. And then the out-breath, we're going to allow it to come down through our auric fields outside of our body. And then come back in through the spine, up to the central column of the body. And then with the out-breath, it's coming down through the auric field, what we may call this toroidal field, of subtle energy. And as we breathe in, we're actually drawing this energy from our auric field into our central channel. So it's our own energy, our life force energy being brought up through our body, and then coming down in through our auric field once again. And we're allowing our breath to just come into a natural rhythm. See if you can use the movement of the body as the breath fills the abdomen and then moves up to feel the movement of the energy upwards. And if you cannot necessarily feel it, just imagining it coming up. So we're going to continue for about another 10 minutes or so. Once again, our mindfulness is holding space for any experience happening within our sense fields so that we can be aware of it without being distracted for the present moment. And whatever energy and awareness is left, we bring into this movement of energy through the body as we breathe. Coming up the central column, out through the top of the head and down through our auric field. allowing the breath to find its natural rhythm. If you like, you may use visualization to help you as well, bring in perhaps a color. As if you're drawing this color from the auric field into your body, up to the central channel, and then filling that auric field with that colored light. The light color, not a dark one, is fine. The verticals. Anytime you feel like just relaxing your effort and just being present from moment to moment, then please feel free to do so. So before we begin to communicate and transition into this next phase of the day, you might just bring our awareness, our energy really into our heart center. Still using the breath to really bring it fully into our chest area. Not even putting your hand on your chest if it helps. And the practice is to maintain continuous present moment awareness as we communicate. So when you're ready, if your eyes are closed, you can open your eyes slowly, perhaps still with a soft focus. If you gaze around the room, connect with each other. So the invitation now is to have a conscious, really, sometimes I say mindful, sometimes I don't feel really comfortable using the word mindfulness because we have such a prejudice against the mind, and it's not just about the mind, it's really anything that is in Buddha's teaching, anything that is non-physical is translated in English as mental, but it's not only the mind. It's our entire being that we are aware of as we communicate. So we're just wanting to open up a conversation, and the invitation is for each of us to stay present as we do so with our thoughts and our feelings. If you feel that there's any time there's something that's being needing to be said, or that we feel an urge to express or share, please feel free to do so. And as other people express themselves, just the invitation, just really listening into that and feeling if there's any resonance within yourself as you listen. Because if we have this mindful field of awareness that we're creating together in this group, then we can experience each other's sharings as happening within our own awareness, and that can bring a kind of a resonance with other parts of ourselves. And so we may feel called to respond at certain times in empathy, or we may like to share something else that has come up for us that we'd like to share. So I'd like to begin just by inviting people. We might actually just go around to make sure everybody has an opportunity to share something, anything that you would like to offer and share at the moment, how you are feeling, how you experience that, or whatever it is that you feel you would like to share with the group. And then after that, we will go into the main kind of topic of the conversation. I'd just like to see what kind of themes and patterns are present in our collective consciousness in this moment. So perhaps we'll go left, and if you're okay, do you feel ready to share something, David?
Oh, not quite.
Not quite. So we can always skip you and then come back in the second round. Greg, how are you feeling at the moment? How was that for you? Anything you'd like to share?
I'm feeling very relaxed, and I think you know that over the years, Julian and I go a long way back at Temple Byron, and I always loved the way you structure your guided meditations and how you go into the awareness, and it's completely next level stuff for me. So I don't know.
Thank you. Maybe everybody could say your name first as well.
My name is Leanne. Thank you for reminding me to stop and listen and feel back into my heart. I've been so busy doing many things, many happenings, and that was just really beautiful to drop back into that place of peace and just feel my body and my awareness and my breath and the stillness and the love. Thank you.
I'm Stephen. I'm feeling like this card. Mountain strength.
Which strength? Mountain strength.
Mountain strength. Just a strength where there's no doing about it. It's just a calmness. It's just like that mountain. It's just there. Yeah. And it's got such a strength and such an energy. and that's how I feel. I feel very calm and it was very beautiful. Thank you.
Beautiful. Thank you. And yeah, as we're listening, also we can see if that aligns with our own experience as well, and so we can actually receive something from each person's sharing and offering, and even just use that to direct our perception to our own experiences, to also feel these things. So that way we actually are receiving each other's unique contributions to the collective consciousness.
My name is Michael,
Okay.
and I'm feeling very relaxed. Yeah. I'm searching for clarity, really, just light. Yeah.
Searching for clarity?
Clarity.
Yes.
Yeah. As we all are.
Yeah. So nice to open a space for things to start to become clear.
Yeah.
Hi, my name is Deborah. I'm feeling very grounded and just feeling love in my heart and seeing beautiful pink colours in my aura field. Yeah, so thank you.
Thank you, Deb.
My name is Peter. I enjoyed the process and I feel quite relaxed. I was going in and out of sleep during the whole period as well. And I'm looking forward to whatever's coming through I guess I feel an openness towards seeing what happens for the rest of the afternoon.
Yeah, thank you, David.
My name is Jennifer. Thank you, that was done so beautifully and used a lot of sensitivity. I'm physically challenged, so sometimes I get really overtired. So I was very aware of that, and obstacles kind of that were preventing me from going deeper. I was really aware of the claim to just be released. And at the end, I felt really calm. So thank you. And being on this land, oh my God,
Yeah.
oh my God. Surrounded by, oh my God. I can explain it.
Yeah.
But thank you.
Thank you. Yes.
My name's Mary. I'm grateful to be here, enjoying the birds singing and the cars roaring and the gentle breeze coming through the door and the lovely company in the room. Thank you.
Thanks, Mary. So,
I feel quite emotional and I appreciate your lovely energy.
happy just resting in that emotion. Beautiful. Thank you, David. So, maybe we hand it over to you, Greg. That's to begin this conversation. So.
Yes, and Peter, you're right. We had an agenda this afternoon, but I don't know whether we're likely to stick to it. And by the way, I should say that Julian, the little microphone down there, normally it picks up everything in the room, but oftentimes we give people the option of actually having it near them and speaking into it. So to answer your question, Peter, the intent was, if you read one of the earlier blurbs that went out or earlier emails that went out, we were going to follow up on the session that we did last month with Gabrielle, where she did a session on opening and releasing. Hang on a minute, let me get this right. opening into love and compassion. There was another word that I'm missing. And she just did the meditations. She's done those over many years for me at Temple Byron. And Julian, of course, was involved in an earlier version of Byron Bay Meditation Collective, which became Byron Bay Meditation Centre. Boom. And then on 22 Stop 2 Stop 2022 it became Earth Meditation Tribe. So what happened last time, Gabrielle didn't have really the time to go into the actual delineating. It was about love and compassion, and she's just divine when it comes to those two topics. Mm-hmm. When in doubt, get Gabrielle in to do that sort of gig. But the intent was to look further into differentiating between compassion, empathy, pity, heartfulness. Now, having said that, I think I overheard someone say, "Oh, Greg, that's so 2022. We've all moved on from the compassionate conversation." We haven't, by the way, because at the heart of the Tao Te Ching, you often hear, I guess what I'd like to see happen for the rest of the afternoon, Julian, seeing that you're a revelation wherever you talk, is I'd like to share a little bit about what the Earth Tribe is about and what we see as the new Earth. Mm-hmm. Now, having said that, if you look at the website, compassion is at the very foundation of how we interact with each other and with ourselves on the new Earth. Mm-hmm. So I don't want my comments to be taken as a downgrading of that term. So I thought we'd do a little bit of a U-turn, subject to how you feel, Peter. If you want to head down the track of me telling you what Matu Ricard and the Dalai Lama and Rasmus Hugard and all these rock stars say about how you define this and that, we'll go there. But I have a feeling, particularly now that David is here, because David has written a few books on nature and the earth. And that's kind of where I'm at, to be direct with you. So I guess, Julian, to bring you into the loop, this was a project that was born before COVID, but was held off after conversations with Steve and a number of influential women, one of whom is a leading astrologer, who, when the words came together, said, "No, you can't launch it until 22 Stop 2 Stop 2022. Oh, okay. And that particular date is a very significant date. You know a little bit about astrology, and Pluto was in play. And the last time we were in that configuration, it was the American Civil War, and Napoleon was being done over in Russia. And okay, so it's a significant date. Now, let me go a further step and say to you, because the reason why this is relevant to Julian is that whereas our tribe has formulated what we see as the vision and the values of the new Earth, Julian has gone at another level and actually constructed a program called Social Dharma, where the nuts and bolts of how things will happen on the new Earth. He's gone into that detail. And in parallel to that, it so happens that I'm doing a course by Otto Scharmer, which is called Theory U, which is kind of similar to what Julian is doing. And Otto talks about presencing and absencing. Not too hard to guess what he's talking about there. It's all about, I beg your pardon, it's not all about. It's very much about being present. And what does present mean? And if I go one step further before getting your response, if you're listening carefully to what Eckhart Tolle is saying, Tolle has shifted very heavily back to that word again, and in fact has recently started a new course on how to become a presence teacher or a teacher of presence. And you pay a lot of money to do that course, as you do with every American course. Oh, did I really say that? So the conversation about being present is clearly front and centre. And I'm kind of hoping that you will tell us where social dharma, what its view on that particular word is. Now, having said that about you, David has done a couple of books. David, have you got the front pages of two of those books behind you, or do they leave them up the top?
Yeah, no, that's oh.
Oh, yeah? They can just be handed around the room.
Okay.
So David doesn't, when he's done these books, doesn't channel. Some people tell me when they do books they channel. David has a different process to that, but it's very much nature orientated. So in a nutshell, Julian, can I give you a quick overview? The Earth Meditation Tribe is based on the Tao and other indigenous teachings and Western wisdom, Eastern wisdom. It's about a return to the yin, a return to the great integrity. And no one's ever really asked me what's meant by a return to the great integrity. But if you are familiar with the Tao, and I know you are, some people say the great integrity is in fact love. But for the purpose of the conversation out and about, I kind of stick, when the conversation comes to me, I say it's about the great integrity and a return to the yin. And you know what the yin is. So it's at that level. The next level down is, it's about a reconnection within, with each other, and thirdly, with the Earth Mother. And on it goes, and it makes some comments buried down in one of the paragraphs near the end, that we believe in freedom and sovereignty, ... whatever the price might be. No prizes for guessing what we're talking about when we say that. And it's become far more obvious in the last year or two exactly what that was about. And it's about being in a world also, it suggests also that we will enter a world where truth becomes dispensable in the hands of the power people, and where at times they will redefine what truth is for their own sake. And that has become more and more obvious. So there's lots of little stuff that's thrown in there. And I don't mind saying to you that we're at a point, I've had this conversation with Steve, of wanting to even review the website and to see whether we got it wrong in any particular sector. We don't think we did, but I'm just alerting you to the fact that I might drag you into a conversation about that at some time. Mm-hmm. I could say much more, but does that give you a little bit of a clue about what the Earth Tribe is? Yes. And it sets out the vision and the values so that people know at the front end what we're about. We're about a connection to the Earth. A connection, I'm trying to think of the phrase that appears on all our posters. Connection to Earth and the interconnection of all beings. Something like that.
Okay.
Now, before you respond, I'm kind of hoping that David, when he's ready, will recite a poem that appears in one of his books, which is about, let me get this right, the sunset of the new world. He doesn't use the word earth, uses the word world. I got that wrong, didn't I?
Well, there's no wrong.
Can I use that as an opener, Peter? In other words, what I thought we'd do is have that conversation, and someone has arrived here this afternoon who said she was off a flight from Scotland with a guitar in her hands, and I said, oh, that's great. We might get you to sing a couple of songs later. You know I've been trained to do that.
Well, I feel like I'm having a huge responsibility put on my shoulders. Decide what everyone should do for the afternoon. And
For an
my
observer.
own thoughts are that you're a very good leader of this group and you keep it going. And so I'm happy to pass the decision over to you, Geo. And so the one thing I am interested in that I had heard about earlier was the way in which Julian is setting up social networks based on Buddhism. That's all I have to say.
Social Dharma, he calls
Social
it.
Dharma, yes.
What say we do this? We invite Julian to respond, and then if David feels inspired, I'd love him to read that poem to you, because that will ignite a conversation.
Sounds wonderful. Perfect.
Okay, so as I was listening to you, I was feeling into really how this can define a conversation topic that really kind of engages everybody. And so I feel that the kind of common topic, or the central topic, really is New Earth for me. And I feel if we all kind of have something to say, something to share about what that means for each one of us, then that might be an interesting way to get a sense of what it is that we are all creating together, what each person would like to kind of share, from each different person's perspective. And I feel that the heart is really central to both our connection to ourselves, to each other, and also to the earth, and even to our higher self, which is a way that we really kind of connect with each other as well. So I feel that heart connection and conscious communication is really central to what I see as an emerging shared vision of New Earth all around the world, at least the English-speaking world that I'm aware of. You also asked about presence. So for me, presence is simply another word for mindfulness. We use that interchangeably, and I sometimes just use the word mindfulness just because to kind of honor the origination of that kind of teaching as I've taken it from the Buddha's teaching. But I'm more happy with presence, actually. So I feel it's really just cultivating presence within ourselves and expanding our self-awareness to include each other, and therefore kind of contributing to the pool of collective consciousness. And as we come together into our hearts and connect with each other, we're moving towards a state of unity consciousness. So in answer to your question, Peter, that's kind of the essence of really what I'm interested in doing is really how do we come together in this field of unity consciousness, where we each see each other as I'm within you, you're within me, and we're all kind of there's this interdependence that we become aware of, and it's actually a collective. It's this principle of unification of collective consciousness. So in meditation, individually, you may bring yourself, say we unify our mind around a single object, say breath. That is bringing our mind into a state sometimes called concentration. And if we do this collectively, we can use conscious communication to bring ourselves into the state of unity consciousness. So it's actually a collective meditation process, starting from mindfulness, mindful communication or presence, moving into the state of unity consciousness. And I feel that's really how this foundation of New Earth, how do we create from this, tap into this unity consciousness and then create and empower each of us to share our unique kind of offerings or gifts that we want to share in the world. So we're all here to really share each other, empower each other to share what it is that we most want to be doing in the world and giving to the world and expressing in the world. And as we do so, we all contributing to this pool of collective consciousness. So my conclusion from that is really that that's what I would like to do, would be just really to that I've kind of shared in a sense what is my vision of New Earth, perhaps in a way how it relates to what what I have to do to contribute to that, and I guess you have also. So it might be nice just to hear from everybody else what New Earth means to you, and how you like to best contribute to that. And maybe use a different word, not New Earth, perhaps just some other vision that you have of a better world, an alternative world to the one that's being kind of forced upon us.
So if you were willing to conduct that, that'd be good. Can I make one comment?
Mm-hmm.
I was sitting in a cafe in Brunswick a week or two ago, and a lady came along, and I was troubled by something that was going on internationally. I can't remember the latest lie or whatever it was. Mm-hmm. And she said to me, she's a professional woman and very insightful. And she said, Greg, I can't go there into that issue. It might have been the voice or something. And I said, listen, I'm going to look at the voice immediately when that's happening because there's too much other stuff happening. And she said, yes, Greg, I think you need to know I've reached a point where my role at the moment for myself and for all my friends is to simply be calm and centered. And I thought, wow. I thought, that's really helpful. Keep it simple. Not to fight all these battles that are happening out there. I'm just going to be calm and centered, and that's the most effective way I can contribute to the New Earth, or whatever you'd like to call it.
Yeah, beautiful. I don't want to kind of require everybody to come up with some grand,
sure,
way that we are
sure.
contributing with. Great, it's unique to everybody, so it's nice. So shall we begin perhaps with that poetry from you, and that might just then begin as a good introduction to even for you to then follow that on with maybe what are you trying to contribute to, or what it is that.
I'm going to get the book.
Beautiful.
And we can use the microphone if people want to speak.
Is that up the hill? Or is that here?
It's a Brunswick case.
Does that sound like something people would like to do? Or does anybody else have any alternative idea, something you'd like to add to that kind of program?
Sounds good.
Oh, I'm kind of more interested in all of you people, actually. Because just feel I'd like to know more.
Start us off on one of your poems, it'd be beautiful.
Mm.
Really appreciate it.
I'm just saying this is the preamble. Because it's true. It's at the dawn of the coming new world. The old world of self-interest, power over others, human in nature, greed and where money is king, the sexual abuse and suffering of so many children, the division between rich and poor, the trampling of the earth and all her beings, the tens of millions of displaced persons, including 30 million children, etc., 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 is the old world. And the old world is dying. It's going. It's on the way out. It is in its death throes, fighting for survival. But it won't work. It is dying, and that's all there is to it. It is dying because the new world is being born. The new world of love and kinship with all life. The new world where the underprivileged receive a helping hand from the privileged. The new world where all realize the sacredness of all life. The new world where every child is our child. The new world where the trees are known and felt for who they truly are. The new world where the source of life is known and related to and loved, and becomes the reality that drives our life and awakens in our heart as we feel and experience and realize our oneness with our Creator, our divine beloved, who lives in our heart and in the heart of all life without exception anywhere. The new world. And it's coming to planet Earth, to the hearts and souls of every one of us, man, woman and child. It's just a matter of time.
Anybody like to continue the conversation? It's beautiful.
I already feel that we're in the fifth dimension. That's especially these last few months, like transitioning into that place of peace and that place of calmness. The deprogramming of the years of suffering and terror and fear, which we've all got installed in us from the world. There's so much deep healing that I've been doing myself, which then heals my ancestral line, my children, their children. We chose to come back for this time. We chose this moment to be the change. For me, the new world is, the fifth dimension is just living in service to others, living from the heart, living in harmony and unity with one another, respecting Mother Earth, respecting our waters and the lands that we live, respecting each other because we're all brothers and sisters, God's children, each and every one of us. So yeah, the darkness is losing the battle. This is why they're pulling out all their guns to cause this chaos that we've been passing through these last couple of years, because they're on their last legs and they know it. And the light is just too strong. We're too strong. Our superpowers are being activated for this time because we're in a warfare. We're at war with the darkness. We will win. We are winning. And we're in the new earth. And I believe for myself is not entering into the darkness anymore, not allowing the negativity and the fear and everything to take over, because when you enter into that state, you're in the darkness and it's getting stronger and stronger and stronger. So keeping your vibration high with the foods you eat, who you spend your time with, who you give your energy to, what you're watching on screens, what you're reading in the newspaper. Like you need to cut all of that out that isn't of the light. So yeah, we're winning.
I'd also like to invite, as we listen, even just to notice any really kind of themes and patterns that are shared maybe by a number of people that can stand out to each of us, so that we will not only have a chance to share what is kind of our vision and what it is that we want to say, but we can also then open up for a more kind of back and forth conversation a little bit after that. So that will be about any kind of themes and patterns that may emerge in this. So just as we're listening, really just anything that you really agree with or really stands out to you as something that you might like to further conversation with, just keep that in mind as we go. So, did you want to speak next? Steve?
I mean, something Leanne said that really sparked me up, which was, we're in a battle between the darkness and the light, you could say. Mm-hmm. And so the new earth is the collective shift, and that collective shift starts with each one of us. And Leanne touched upon her healing and the shift. And I think that's just one small part of the new earth is the end of resistance within us, within our own darkness, within our own battles. And as we shift, everything shifts. It starts with us, right?
The end of existence, okay.
No, I said when we shift, everything shifts. The new earth comes into being because we change, and collectively we make the earth. So that Leanne just brought that up in me when she was talking about the battle of darkness versus the light, and we are the light, and we have darkness in us potentially, and the shift happens when we stop resisting ourselves. And so I'm just going to read a poem.
Could I respond to that for a moment?
Yeah.
Do you feel that each of us then is experiencing it in our own different ways, and it may be different? Like Leanne has said, for her it's already the new earth now, and maybe for others it's not quite yet. So
Absolutely.
Is that because of the extent to which we have resolved the darkness within ourselves, perhaps, and won the battle within ourselves?
Well, I mean, everything is consciousness, so we're also consciousness. So we're just a space for consciousness. And we're at different levels of consciousness, right? So yes, we can be at different levels, for different things in our life. But I sense the hurry up with the dark forces, or whatever you want to call them, is the fact that collectively we're shifting, we're rising in consciousness. And it's kind of like a shift of the ages, and the old paradigm trying to hang on to the material way, you could say. Right? And we're coming into a different age. And, when we come into a different age, which is every 32,000 or so years, 32,000 years, it's an energetic shift, and when you align with that, then you merge into it, and then if you don't align to it, you're not here anymore, So that it's part of the destiny of the universe, you could say. But we're all playing a part, and I think more and more people are rising, and they're either really fighting themselves or they're shifting. Right? So I'm just going to read this. I've got one poem in my book. So it's at the very end of the book. The book, I don't have a name for this poem, but I'm going to call it Life Begins Where Resistance Ends. The new earth begins where resistance ends. Okay. So it's about resistance, and this is an internal shift. I came here today with purpose, not grieving, to bring a new perspective to this life you are living. Challenges come, many sizes and shapes. Their fingerprint the same despite changing face. Cancer, a symbol of things we don't want. Life gets in our face to dissolve what's distraught. Remember that suffering is not who you are. Pain held by resistance, right here, yet so far. A new way of seeing for those who are willing. Surrender, my friend. Let truth be your healing. What's here at this moment is scary, no doubt. Nothing to lose except a room with lights out. Take a step. Look in. Fear not the unknown. The unknown plus awareness is your friend, not your foe. Experience this moment and the truth that it brings. For life is for living, your purpose to sing. There is but one question that remains yours alone. Can you be the space for your experience and welcome yourself home?
I thought it was in Steve's book, but maybe it was another book that I read recently, Julian. Correct me, Steve. And it was kind of one of the frontline comments made at one of the trauma conferences a couple of years ago. Suffering equals pain times...
Suffering equals experience time resistance.
Right.
So
pain times the resistance.
It's basically if you have resistance, then you have suffering. It's not the experience that causes it. So take away the resistance from that equation and there's no suffering, or there's always going to be experience. So, yeah.
So that reminds me of my kind of paradigm for understanding kind of what's happening in the world in terms of this ascension. I use like the model of meditation as a metaphor or kind of how to do that. So in meditation, we may cultivate our awareness, present moment awareness, to a state of high kind of purity. That means kind of freedom, free from attachment and free from resistance. So we just read the present moment as it is, no matter what we are experiencing it. We just face it and experience it and fully live it and allow it to be, and then just allow it to change as well, letting go. And just the resistance and the attachment that will keep it blocked and will keep it being recurring. And so as we cultivate these higher states of awareness, then sometimes we can get an eruption of unconscious content or trauma or old emotions that can come up, because now we have higher consciousness within which it can actually be expressed and experienced and faced. And so it's a process of purification. And so I see that that's kind of also what's happening in the world at the moment. It's a bit like in therapy, the same thing happens. It's not you're creating a therapeutic container where it's safe to express things that you may not have shared or been able to face before, because you have now the extra consciousness, also a therapist as well. It's a bit like detoxing. So we kind of go on a fast, and then all of our toxins kind of come up to be released. So I see that as a kind of metaphor for what's happening in the world, and we can either stall the process by reacting and resisting and going back into the old patterns, or we can actually recognize that this is just old histories are coming up to be re-experienced consciously with a different consciousness now. And we can just continue to raise our consciousness and rise above it and address it in a new way, and it's no longer sticks. So some of us are getting stuck, I guess, in going back into repeated history patterns, and others are able to see the pattern and rise above it. We don't have to also go in any particular order, so if anybody else would like to. Yeah.
And if you don't want to be on the camera, just say.
Looks like you're ready to go.
You're right. No pressure. Yeah, beautiful words. Both of these. Well, everyone. And yeah, I feel pretty positive about our future. The dark has got all its guns out, like you said, but I think that's a positive, really, because they can fire their guns at us as much as they want. It's going to help wake up a lot of people and help us step into that 5D and appreciate what we have, what we are, just as we are, as these supernatural beings that we are. That materialistic world will fall away and we'll just... So I think we've probably got to have plenty of guns firing in the next couple of years. I think it's going to come on strong, but we're going to punch on through to the other side. And this world's, well, it's already magical, but it's just going to be supernatural, awesome once we all tap into that 5D. And then all the little ones coming through, well, you can already see the spark in their eye there. We're just going to pave the way for them, and they're going to really turn it around, aren't they? Like this beautiful existence that we have, whatever it is. I don't know, it blows me away every day. The more I go down all the different, who knows what it is. I think once we find out what our real history is, it's, I can't wait. It's just going to be, when we find out what we really are, not all these lies we've been given for generations, thousands of years, but what we are is just going to be, well, hard to even imagine what we've really come from. That's why they've blocked it, because we're actually super powerful. We're going to get it back. Anyway. Yeah. So, I'm feeling confident anyway, feeling good. Bring on life.
Yeah, I was wanting to ask if you could elaborate more on where do you think we are actually going, or what is that? What is something that maybe
where we are going?
Yeah, in terms of what is that magic that you see kind of around the corner? I guess you're saying, well, I don't know what it is yet, but it's so exciting to find out what it is.
I think tapping into what we've already had. Like all these supernatural powers, different powers that are starting to kick back in.
The days of Atlantis. Telepathy.
Yeah, all that.
Back into that.
Exactly.
It's coming.
What we've had.
It's happening.
Yeah, happening now. And superpowers are coming back. I think even being able to, this might sound far-fetched, but being able to just fly again, like Superman, all of us. I think we can do it. Probably not, I'll never say never, it'd be great if it was in our lifetime, but maybe the little ones coming through, like their kids' lifetime, because we won't have all these blocks and all that darkness, because they're trying to, they have the spirit world showing you different things, and like that matrix is blocking our light out from the day we're born. It's throwing anything at us to stop us finding our higher self. And once we get rid of all that, we'll be free for them superpowers to come in. We won't be wasting our energy on all this other tracking in the world, and magical stuff, like telepathic stuff, but we're like the free, and getting back to the intelligence that done the pyramids and all these free energy buildings around the world.
tapping back into all that.
I'd like to speak a little bit just to that, the significance of telepathy. It means you can't be lied to anymore. So you can just learn to distinguish between what's true and what's not true in a one way, and that will change the world.
And how good to be also be able to tap into the auroras around people. No more fake facades of, like the wolf in sheep clothes and all that.
Yeah, that's it.
You'll just be able to see the darkness around someone or the light, and it's like they can tell you as much bullshit as they want. You can see that.
That's already happening.
Yeah.
That already happened. It's already here.
So good. That'll just give the whole world clarity of relationships and all that kind of thing. There'll be, people will be getting together and creating life with who they should be. Yeah. What? Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah.
Well, I feel very positive about our new earth, and that we're being shown so much truth, and I'm excited about our resourceful, our natural medicine, because I'm studying natural medicine, and that's becoming a new way of part of the new earth, and it's going to help people. There's apparently going to be hospitals that are going to be homeopathic hospitals, and I work with animals, homeopathy and herbs, and I'm excited for this time, because my love, my passion to work with medicine, natural medicine. I'm passionate about cooking beautiful food, and have so much love to, for our community, to help show people how to eat beautiful food and eat correctly and nurture and protect our land, our water. I feel very strong in my heart about that, how important that is. But I'm also excited for our new earth, that people are waking up, and it's so good. It's all showing us what is happening, and it's amazing what we have to look forward to. Very exciting times. And just remembering, love in our hearts, and cleansing. I've been doing so much cleansing and purifying my body, and it's just so good. It's really helped me to shift so much. And I feel amazing for doing that. So that is where I'm coming from, and just want to be of service to people, to help people and animals and the earth.
And it's a shift into also more preventative healthcare as well.
It's amazing. I've been working with animals for many years, and the healing is incredible. It's just, but it's been so much of interference with that too, and not liked or not allowed, and difficult to resource. And I'm so glad that I have so much knowledge and experience with that. So I'm excited for that time.
But 50 years ago, that was the only way to live, because there wasn't modern medicine. So all our grandparents lived that life anyhow. With natural medicine. There's no other choice.
Well, I'm very blessed. My grandparents have taught me so much from living on the farm, and I've learned so much about caring for the land and animals and natural foods, and so I'm very blessed that I have that in my ancestors. So thank you.
I feel so much kind of a nourishing and nurturing energy from you and for what it is that we want you to give.
Yeah, thank you.
Well, I guess it's my turn. I see things in two ways. One is as an individual on the planet here, and the other is as part of a collective of many others on the planet and all the other things that exist here. Before I start though, what I'd like to do is say, as an individual I'd like to stand up, but I'd also like to ask you all if you could stand up for a moment and just have a little bit of a stretch. Alright, and we'll all maximise our feeling of being awake if we can, and then I, as an individual, will have an opportunity to talk to you all.
We'll listen to that.
Alright, okay.
You want all of us.
I mean,
You want all of us.
I want all of you at one time, yes, right.
Oh look, there's somebody here that's come to see you.
Oh yes,
Oh,
look at that, yeah. Right. Hi. It'll all be recorded for you to listen to later. You don't hear it. Yeah. Okay. So let's just all for a moment put our hand on our chest and do this. We go breathe in, breathe out, breathe in. It's going to be very fast.
In and out the nose.
Nose or mouth, whatever you choose. Yep. Okay, that's just the way in which we breathe when we're anxious or if we're worried about things or you know, if we're having a difficult time. Now, another way we breathe in our life is put your hand on your stomach, or abdomen here, and just breathe in deeply now and feel what happens with your tummy. Lovely. Now, having done that, let's chant Rama together once, and then we'll all sit down, eh? Okay. Rama. Yes. Okay, here we go. Breathe in. Thank you. Now it's my turn to talk. Well, yeah, so this is the way I see my life, and I'm talking about my life because I think that's really important for everybody to look at their life and be able to say, this is my life and who I am. So I start from a point there of saying, hey, what am I doing here on this planet? And so the thought is, well, I don't really know. And I don't know how many of you feel the same way, but who really does know why they're here and what they're doing? We have theories, we have ideas, we've got teachings and so on, and the great sages and so on have these stories for us to hear. And for many people, it's just a matter of, well, we're here to work through something to do with being a human and so on. So anyway, from that point, I have a little thing that I determined, which is just read straight off a card. I had these little cards printed up, and it's evolve. Recognize the attributes of God within you and express them in your daily life. Okay, so that was what I had as a thought of finally of what I should do, not knowing really what it is that I'm here for. So I look in myself for the attributes of God, which are there's many of them. There's kindness, there's loving, there's forgiveness, and so on. And then another factor is forgiveness, which I just mentioned, which is really important, I think. And so I say, I now forgive everyone and everything for all that has ever happened in the past, the present, and the future. That allows me to let go of being attached to things and getting angry and carrying it with me and so on. So I feel kind of free through that. Look for what would God do in this situation? Free. And so try and do that. Then there's the collective thing where there's a whole lot of people who are trying to do nasty, evil things, and there's a whole lot of people trying to do loving, wonderful things, and there's all the in-betweens. And so I don't align myself with any of them in any way, really. What I do say is this, that through loving, I just have to love all those good people doing the good things, still love those doing the evil things and whatever, and do what I can to make it better for everybody. So that's where I stand in terms of what it is that goes on in the world. I just try to make it better for everybody in the best way I see that it's possible for me to do that, recognising the attributes of God within me and expressing them in my daily life. So that's it. That's simple. Yeah. Next.
Can I ask you a question?
I don't like camera.
We have to stand up now.
No, I don't like the camera.
I'll throw the camera.
Yeah, I have very little to say. I agreed a lot with what Peter just said, I have to be honest. And I've led a very holistic life since I was a teenager, like over 50 years of being a vegetarian, non-drinker, non-smoker, meditate 2.5 hours a day, etc., etc. And I love that there's so many like-minded people with great intentions. However, I think we're a minority, not a majority. And that, I look around the world, I cannot watch the news. If I see Putin, I want to scream and cry and throw a tantrum. So I cannot watch the news, it upsets me too much. But maybe we are entering into another golden age. I don't know how far we are in Kali Yuga, but we're certainly in Kali Yuga right now. But I don't think I share the same enthusiasm as everyone else, I have to be honest. Even though I love the sound of it, it really gives me great joy. I just think we're here to work things out. I don't, there will be a golden age where things will be better and everything, but I think on the planet we're just working things out. And there's good and evil, there's whatever, and I just try, like what your friend said, just try and lead a good heart, lead a good life myself, and feel peace and contentment. And it's really lovely when you can surround yourself with people that have those intentions, because I haven't always. There was great enthusiasm when I was young in the 60s, and then things kind of got weird again and materialistic again. So I've been disappointed, I have to express too. Really. Thinking I was more altruistic in my views when I was younger, and I've been a little disappointed by, waking up and seeing it's not quite the world I wanted to live in. So anyhow, I appreciate everyone's enthusiasm, I have to say.
Yeah, well, thank you for bringing that, sobering balance into our conversation.
Yeah.
And it raises a question for me, I guess, about to what extent we create our reality, I guess, and collectively. And do we actually, do we have a choice? Are we just, do we have a choice as to which way the world goes? Because I guess there's many different pathways that are all happening simultaneously. And so we can choose to align with different pathways, and we can put energy into that, and then we can surround ourselves with people that are also on that kind of timeline.
And set a good example.
And then for those people, maybe they do have that experience that it feels like the world is actually changing. And for others maybe different whole variety of experience. So I guess that's kind of a question maybe to invite you in a discussion about, because I feel it's a really important
and hold that altruistic place in yourself, but within yourself, and I get disappointed by the world a lot. I've got to just let it be what it's going through and not be so disappointed.
Well, the disappointment can be a guidepost to what really matters to us, perhaps. So I'd like to maybe put that on the shelf to perhaps discuss a little bit next, if that's all right with everybody. But we'd still love to hear from Mary.
I don't want the camera.
No, from here.
Thank you. I'd like to acknowledge Father Sky, Mother Earth, and the custodians of this land, and that my words can hold respect for them. I really enjoyed the conversation. What I asked myself, what am I doing here? I have asked myself previously many times, but now I have a sort of a grasp on how I imagine that I'm here as a part of the weaving of this planet, and weaving myself a place in this beautiful blanket of Mother Earth. I see all those humans imagining that we're, that stock market's running the show, and actually, this is a planet, the water planet, the blue water planet, who's got no idea about the stock market. No idea. And humbleness would be a major ingredient for many people, to help them realise where they are, what they're standing on. I wanted to tell a little story about my son, who was very depressed. I found him out in the car park. We're out in the bush at a person's birthday party. Actually, he's a guitar teacher. I couldn't find him, so I looked and I went to see if his car was still there, and his car was still there, and I went and talked to him. He was quite a private young man, and he said, I'm just so depressed I can't go in. I said, look, everyone loves you in there. He said, I know, I just can't go into the party. And I teed up for him the following day to see a friend of ours, Christian. He spent the day with Christian, and he talked to him about stepping into the light or the dark. And he said, it's that simple. And I saw Christian a couple of days later, and I said, did you talk about computers? And he said, oh, briefly. And my son sold the two screens, computers, everything 3 days later. He briefly told me he was on, this conversation is for the young people that I want to offer so much love and support for. That he's on his own in his room watching YouTube. And he says it just goes on a theme and it just gets darker and darker. He had these big screens, and anyway, sold a lot, bought a little laptop, had everything so he could play his guitar with a microphone, and he hasn't looked back. So, and Leo's just had his birthday, so that's a good, over a year ago. So, and we're old and mature, we've had all the opportunities in the world, we went to anywhere we wanted to go. We've been to Rajasthan if we felt like it. We've been everywhere. We've done everything. We had the opportunities that these young people, they can't even find a home to rent. There's either maybe living at home. So I'm, this simple story that my son showed me, that I followed, and I noticed, I was cycling back on my bicycle from the beach this morning and hit this little thought, and it's like, well, where am I going to focus? Am I going to be stepping with my thoughts into the light or into the dark? Every moment I can ask myself that question, and I'm grateful to have enough clarity to notice as soon as I'm starting to think about something. And that comes with not smoking, not drinking, giving ourselves plenty of space, like Jen said. So, I'm really grateful to have met Steve and been doing a bit of deep diving into emotions I'd had stuck inside me and giving himself a chance to sleep properly, and who knows, when they say the sky's the limit, I don't think I'm going to put a limit. Just going to see what happens next, and just giving myself the space, giving myself to notice that this moment's for me. So when I'm swimming in the ocean on sunrise, at this moment, this is for me. And this moment, so when I can be present, then I'm a lot more capable of being present for other people. And I'm grateful for all the beautiful people I've met in my life, and all of them helping me with different guidance, and even the yucky, horrible ones. I found that my gratitude is the doorway into finding, there's the kookaburra supporting me. Because it's been very tricky to be grateful for the dark horses. But really gratitude is, I've discovered, and say in the last 3 months, is a doorway for me to notice the elephant in the room of my consciousness. So thank you for listening, everybody, and thank you, Steve, for having us here in this beautiful home of yours. I'm very grateful I made this space, all these beautiful people. Thank you.
And something that stood out to me as I was listening, I think, is just the real value of just really coming back into presence again, and just really being here and now, and each moment.